Hello everyone, here's how I make my own mason jar lids to make grain spawn. So these have two holes, one for an injection port and then a bigger one for air exchange. So use a 1/8 drill bit, we'll drill the injection port hole. Go fast with light pressure on the metal and then you won't bend it and you won't have a big burr to clean up. There we go, see, light pressure, fast. It's a pretty clean hole. Use a scrap piece of wood or something that you don't care about underneath. And that way when you drill through, you don't ruin your bench top. So the next thing we're gonna drill is a 1/4 inch bit. These are not exact sizes. I have never done any testing to see what's the ideal size for air exchange, done any math on that. So, if you don't have a 1/4 inch bit, you got something close, 9/16, fine. Just have to try it. It might work, maybe it won't. So we'll put this one on the other side. So this is gonna be, we have this one kind of over on the side, our first one. The second one's gonna be over here. All right. Again, light pressure and fast. We had a little bit of a burr on this one to clean out, but that's fine. We don't want any kind of hanging metal off there. You should be able to clean it off with your fingers. You could use a file if you really had to, but be gentle. It's a very thin metal. Okay, so now we have our two holes. So let me talk for a second about why the hole placement like this. So we don't want the air exchange hole in the center. It's fine, but if you want to use these lids for liquid culture jars, it's generally bad to get the polyfill wet because you can soak in contamination. So if you put them off-centered, you can use these same lids for liquid culture jars because you can tip it with gel material without risking the polyfill. So that's why we do off-centered. That's why I do the off-centered air exchange port and ejection port. All right, so now that we have our holes drilled, we're gonna do high temperature silicone gasket maker, red RTV Silicone, high temp gasket maker. I'll put a link in the description. But this material can withstand pressure cooking, and you can put a syringe through it and it will come out safely and reseal behind it. So have a ring prepped. So we're gonna put gasket maker on it and then we'll just set it on the ring so that it can dry without touching anything. Have a paper towel around too. I would recommend against a reusable towel. This stuff will not come out. So I'm gonna get rid of the nasty dry end there. So I'll just put a little bit of gasket maker over the hole, not too much. I'm gonna swirl it around a bit. Check the other side. Just a little bit. And then you wanna make sure that you can't see where the hole is. Sometimes it gets a little bit of a bump. You can kind of see a little bump there. So that's where the syringe will go. So we'll do this to the rest of them. Just set them on a lid to dry. They need 24 hours to dry in air, but they do cure faster when they're hot. So, really as soon as they're handleable, it seems like about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, depending on how warm and dry it is where you live. Once it's handleable, you can move on to the air exchange and use them. But if you want to be thorough, I would wait a whole day, make these ahead of time. All right, so get some polyfill from an old pillow. It's about a cotton ball size. So kind of stretch it out straight, then fold it in half. So you have a fold side and like the dangly ends. And then I take the fold side and push it down into the lid. Pull it through on the other side until it's nice and tight. And then you're good to go. You can trim the end here if you want. Just pull a little off. But you want to make sure that's nice and tight in there so that it doesn't slip out from handling. And you have an air exchange lid ready to go. Just pop it on a jar with a band. Sterilize it with a little bit of tin foil over the top. Just like normal grain spawn technique. You can see my other video from my shorts. Now some people also do micropore tape. So this is 3M micropore tape. I haven't tried this personally, so I can't endorse it, but enough people do it that I think it works. And they just usually do the same thing, but instead of using polyfill, they just put a couple layers of micropore tape on the lid. I think 2 layers is what most people do. Just put them on there kind of crossed over. Let me know if you use micropore tape, if it works well compared to the polyfill. I think it might need to be changed more often, but we'll see. I'll give it a shot. So drill 2 holes, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, RTV in the smaller hole, polyfill in the bigger hole, and you're good to go. You have a self-healing injection port lid to make grain spawn or liquid culture. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to study mushrooms.